Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare 1-cent coins, because some of these coins are rare among collectors and are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest coins and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're talking about the 1963 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the humble penny that might be hiding a big secret. Now, don't be fooled by its small size or common appearance. What looks like an ordinary Lincoln penny could actually be worth a jaw-dropping amount of money. So, if you've got a jar of old pennies lying around, you'll definitely want to stick around to the very end, because one of these little copper coins could change your life. Let's rewind to 1963. John F. Kennedy was president, Beatlemania was brewing, and this penny was fresh off the mint presses. Made primarily of copper, the 1963 1-cent coin features the classic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials you can find just beneath Lincoln's shoulder. On the reverse, you'll see the iconic Lincoln Memorial, flanked by the words United States of America and 1 cent. But what turns a regular 1963 penny into a valuable collector's dream? It's all about rarity, condition, and the hidden errors that only sharp-eyed collectors know to look for. First up, mint marks. The 1963 penny was minted in 2 locations, Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Denver have a small D below the date, while Philadelphia coins have no mint mark at all. But even more important than where it was minted is how it was minted. That's where the magic begins. Some 1963 pennies have been discovered with double die errors, a fascinating and rare minting mistake where the design is accidentally struck twice, creating a noticeable doubling of letters or numbers. If you see bold or blurry edges on Liberty, In God We Trust, or even the date itself, you might be looking at one of these rare and valuable double die errors. And then, there are the off-center strikes. These errors happen when the coin blank isn't perfectly aligned in the press, resulting in part of the design being missing or shifted. Some of these off-center 1963 pennies are extremely rare and highly sought after by error coin collectors. Another thing to watch for is what's known as a die crack, tiny raised lines caused by worn or damaged dies during minting. While common die cracks may not fetch much, some dramatic examples, like those that appear to show Lincoln bleeding or with a crown, can draw serious collector attention, but condition is key. A circulated penny with wear and scratches might not get much attention, but an uncirculated 1963 penny, one that has been kept safe in a coin holder or set aside before it ever entered someone's pocket, can be worth far more. Coins graded as mint state by professionals are the real prize. Now imagine this. You're holding a flawless 1963 penny with a double die error. No scratches, no signs of wear, and the minting mistake is clear as day. You take it to a professional grader, and it comes back certified in top-tier condition. What could that penny be worth? Get ready for it, because one such coin has been valued at an unbelievable $81,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1963 penny, worth 1 cent when it was minted, could now fetch a small fortune for the right collector. So before you toss that old change jar or ignore that dusty coin in your drawer, take a closer look. That tiny copper coin could be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Top 2, we're shining the spotlight on a coin you might have seen 100 times and never thought twice about. The 1966 United States 1-cent coin. That's right, the classic Lincoln penny. It might be sitting in your pocket, your junk drawer, or a forgotten coin jar. But if you're lucky, you could be holding something incredibly rare and insanely valuable. This isn't just another ordinary penny. The 1966 1-cent coin comes from a fascinating period in U.S. history, a time of social change, the space race, and coin experimentation behind the scenes at the U.S. Mint. Now, here's where things get interesting. In 1966, the Mint did something unusual. They didn't include mint marks on any coins, including the penny. That means whether it was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, you won't see a D or S under the date. Why? The Mint was trying to discourage coin hoarding during a coin shortage, and that decision makes the 1966 penny unique right off the bat. But it doesn't stop there. What makes some of these 1966 pennies extremely rare and valuable isn't just the missing mint mark, it's the errors that happened during production. Let's talk about the types of mistakes that can turn a simple coin into a collector's dream point. One of the most famous and sought-after errors is the double die. This happens when the coin is struck twice, slightly misaligned, causing doubling in the design. If the letters In God We Trust, Liberty, or the date appear shadowed or thick, you might have a double die error. And these are worth a serious look from collectors. Next, we have off-center strikes. Imagine a penny where Lincoln's face is shifted way to the left or right, or part of the coin is blank. These are eye-catching and highly collectible, especially if the date is still fully visible. The more off-center, the more valuable, especially in high-grade condition. Another rare feature to look for is die cracks, thin raised lines that appear on the coin due to worn-out dies. Some of these lines form unusual shapes, and in the collector world, dramatic die cracks, especially ones nicknamed after what they resemble, can drive prices way up. And don't forget struck-through errors, where debris or grease got between the die and the coin blank, causing parts of the design to be missing or smeared. These minting mishaps are rare and super collectible when certified. But here's the real secret to unlocking big value. Condition is everything. A 1966 penny fresh from circulation might be cool, but one that was never touched, stored away in pristine, uncirculated condition, is what collectors dream about. The redder and shinier the coin, the better. Coins with a professional grade of MS, mint state, are especially prized. Now, let's bring it all together. Imagine this. You find a 1966 Lincoln penny with a crisp, brilliant finish. It's never been used, never been scratched, and upon closer inspection, it has a bold double die error or an off-center strike. That's not just lucky, that's potentially life-changing. Because a 1966 1-cent coin in rare condition, with the right mint error and a top-tier grade, has been valued by collectors and experts at an astonishing $80,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $80,000 for a penny that most people would walk right past. Top 3, we're unlocking the secrets behind one of the most surprising and potentially valuable coins in U.S. coin history, the 1968 Lincoln cent. It's small, it's copper, and it's probably been tossed around in pockets and jars for decades. But a few special ones are worth far more than anyone would expect. Now, let's zoom in and talk about why the 1968 penny is more than just loose change. First off, this penny was produced in 3 different places: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. That means you'll find 3 versions, no mint mark, a D, or an S below the date. But the one from San Francisco, the 1968 S Lincoln cent, is what's turning heads in the coin world. Why? Because it's part of the proof set, which means it was never meant to be used in everyday circulation. These coins were struck with extreme care, shiny and sharp in detail, and packaged for collectors. But every once in a while, one of these proof coins makes its way into the real world, or even better, turns out to have a mint error that makes it incredibly rare. Let's talk errors, because this is where the money is. One of the most thrilling errors to look for is the double die obverse. This is when the coin's design was imprinted twice on the front, just slightly misaligned. If you look closely and see doubling in the words "In God We Trust, Liberty," or even the numbers in the date, don't blink. That's a big deal. There are also rare off-center strikes, where the coin was stamped off target, leaving part of the design missing. These can range from slight misalignments to dramatic cuts, some even showing Lincoln's head sliding completely off the coin. Collectors love these bizarre minting mistakes. Another fascinating error is the floating roof variety. Some 1968 cents show the roof of the Lincoln Memorial seemingly floating with no visible supports underneath. This is caused by die polishing or damage during minting. And yes, that odd little detail can make your penny more desirable. And don't forget about clipped planchets, when part of the coin is actually missing due to a miscut blank before striking. These partial pieces can be worth far more than a full coin, especially if the date is still visible. But here's the golden rule. Condition matters more than anything. A beat-up penny that's been through the ringer won't fetch much. But a 1968 penny in mint state, with strong luster, sharp details, and possibly an error, now that's a different story. That's what collectors dream of. especially when it's graded and certified by a trusted grading service. So here's the moment you've been waiting for. One very specific version of the 1968 1-cent coin, featuring a rare double-die error and preserved in pristine condition, has been valued at an eye-popping $79,000. Yes, that's right. $79,000 for a single penny. And guess what? That valuable coin might be hiding in your own collection, just waiting to be discovered. So grab your magnifying glass, start checking those dates, and don't overlook the smallest coin in your stash. It could hold the biggest surprise. Top 4, we're talking about the 1970 United States 1-cent coin. Yes, the Lincoln penny. It's the kind of coin people see every day, spend without thinking, or throw into a piggy bank. But this one? It could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Let's start with the basics. In 1970, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln cents in 3 places: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The regular pennies struck for circulation are common, sure, but it's the 1970s, the one minted in San Francisco, that makes collectors sit up and pay attention. You see, San Francisco struck proof coins that year, specially made coins with mirror-like finishes, crafted with extra care for collectors. But here's the twist. Some of these coins were minted with serious errors, and that's where things get interesting. Point 1 of the most famous and valuable errors is the 1970s small date double die obverse. That's a mouthful, but here's what it means. There are 2 key things going on. First, the small date variety. On most 1970 pennies, the date is bold and spaced normally. But on the small date version, the numbers, especially the 7 and 0, look different. They appear thinner, taller, and closer to the 9. It's a small detail, but it makes a big difference. Now combine that with a double die error, where the coin was struck twice during minting, causing the design to appear doubled. On the rare 1970s small date double die, you can actually see doubling in the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." When both of these features show up on the same coin, collectors go wild. But there's more. Some 1970 pennies show off center strikes, die cracks, or even floating roof varieties on the Lincoln Memorial. All small mistakes from the mint that turn an ordinary coin into a one-of-a-kind collectible. And let's not forget, condition is king. A 1970 penny pulled from a pocket is neat, but a 1970 proof coin kept untouched in its original case, shining bright with deep contrast, that's where the real value starts to rise. Especially when professionally graded by experts as being in top condition. What happens when you find a 1970s penny with a rare double die error, a small date variety, and it's in pristine proof condition? Well, brace yourself, because one of those incredibly rare coins has been valued at a staggering $76,000. Yes, $76,000. For a single penny. That's why coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It's a real treasure hunt. That small coin sitting at the bottom of your drawer might be the golden ticket you never knew you had. Top 5, we are going to talk about the humble 1971 United States 1-cent coin. Yes, that small Lincoln penny you've probably seen thousands of times could be worth a small fortune. And the reason why will surprise you. Let's rewind the clock to 1971. It was a year of change in America. Walt Disney World had just opened. The Apollo missions were exploring the moon, and in the middle of it all, the U.S. Mint was striking millions of Lincoln cents. At first glance, the 1971 penny looks ordinary. On the front, you've got Abraham Lincoln's iconic profile, and on the back, the Lincoln Memorial. Simple, right? But hidden among the millions of these coins are a few that are anything but ordinary. And that's exactly what makes them incredibly valuable. What should you be looking for? First, the 1971 penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. That means there are coins with no mint mark, a D for Denver, and an S for San Francisco. While most people don't pay much attention to mint marks, collectors do, especially when it comes to the 1971 proof coins. But the real excitement, it's all about errors. Point 1 of the most famous and valuable mistakes is the double die obverse, a rare error where the front of the coin is struck twice with a slight misalignment. If you ever see doubling in the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty," or even the date itself, your heart should skip a beat. That doubling isn't damage, it's a mint error, and it's worth serious money. Another highly sought-after error is the off-center strike, where the coin wasn't properly aligned during minting. Part of the design may be missing, and the more dramatic the shift, the more collectors want it, especially if the full date is still visible. And here's something even more exciting: proof errors. The San Francisco Mint produced beautiful proof coins in 1971, with mirror-like surfaces and sharp detail. These coins weren't meant for circulation, but occasionally, one with a rare minting flaw slips through the cracks. A proof coin with a double die or other error. That's jackpot territory. Of course, condition is everything. A scratched-up penny from the bottom of a drawer won't catch much attention. But a 1971 penny in uncirculated or proof condition, with the right error, becomes something truly special. Professional grading by services like PCGS or NGC can confirm its authenticity and boost its value even more. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. There is a known 1971 Lincoln penny with a rare double die error, struck in proof quality, that has been valued at an astonishing $75,000. That's right, $75,000 for a single penny. So next time you see a 1971 penny, don't just toss it aside. Check the date. Look closely at the lettering. You could be holding a piece of hidden history, and maybe, just maybe, a small copper coin worth more than a luxury car. If you found this video fascinating, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell for more amazing coin stories. Who knows? Your next big discovery could be sitting in your pocket right now. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy hunting and happy collecting.